everybody, it's been 2 long years in the pandemic, so what better way to celebrate being able to go out and do whatever you want than a trip down to the beach. Stay tuned, the 302 has got a great show ahead of you. Hey everybody, we are coming out of the pandemic and we are all ready for some fun. We are here at the Rehoboth Beach and Dewey Beach Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined by the President and CEO, Carol Everhart. Carol, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming.
So Carol, let's talk a little bit about, this was a rough 2 years. I mean, what was it like here, especially for the businesses who cater to, tourists who just weren't here?
Well, 2020 was a major challenge. There were so many mandates, so many restrictions, and they had a very difficult time making it. And it was restaurants, it was retail, it was the attractions, it was the events. Everything took a hit in 2020 for sure. I can't imagine it being much worse than it was in 2020. But the result of that was that there were a lot of typically regulations like outdoor dining that we had in place before the pandemic that suddenly were on the table to allow to happen, and they did.
So the outdoor dining allowed for families to still come down. They could rent, maybe an Airbnb, but they could still kind of enjoy the beach because there was that social distancing. So how did the businesses fare through that?
The restaurants and retail had the hardest time because the stipulations were not only how occupancy, but how far apart the tables could be, that type of thing. So regardless of occupancy, if your tables had to be so many feet apart, your walls are your walls, you could only fit so many tables in there. So they took a big hit in 2020. And then in 2021, when they relaxed some of the rules, our visitation was strong in 2020, but 2021 was amazing. We had an amazing year last year.
So I think a lot of people were just so stir crazy that they were like, okay, I can eat outside, I social distance, I bring my family, we're all in our own little pod, we got to go to the beach.
And they did. We saw, based on our formula that we use, over 10 million last year.
That's amazing.
Which was probably close to a record, if not a record. And everyone did exceptionally well in 2021. Staffing is an issue and continues to be an issue. So if there was a downside in 2021, it wasn't so much the mandates as the fact that we did not have enough staffing to take care of our visitors the way we wanted to. But occupancy was up tremendously in the hotels, B&Bs, rentals. I'm seeing the same thing for the upcoming season. It's looking very strong.
So when you're dealing with all of the restrictions that you have to in tourism, it's a face-to-face service-related industry. They had to get pretty creative in terms of the way they offered new services. Can you talk a little bit about, and did the chamber help them with ideas to think out of the box in order to try to keep that revenue coming?
Well, our business community is extremely adaptable, and they did. They adapted in every way you can imagine, not only just the outdoor dining, but the way that they could allow pickup service, curb service. So the city and the towns worked with the businesses and said, okay, if they can't come in, can we have them call in for a delivery? And can we take some of the parking spaces and make sure that people can pull up and our businesses could take the food out to them? So it was a takeout type of thing for businesses that had never done that. And that was extremely successful and really helped. And it was retail too. So there for a while, even if you were the bookstore, you had to drop the book outside of your door. You couldn't have them come into the store, that type of thing. So I can't say enough about how creative and adaptable the business community was in every aspect. And they ended up with, last year, a really good year. 2020, everyone pretty much took a loss.
Yeah.
If you were the service industry, however, let's say you were a plumber or heating, that type of thing, you had a challenge because now you're wearing the footies and you're having to wear extra mask and all that type of thing to do your job. But you didn't necessarily take a loss in business because so many people were working virtually. And we're seeing that continue. So what we have is a rental that they just thought they were going to take for the summer. Mm-hmm. And they are staying through the winter. Oh. So they wintered by the water for sure in 2020 and 2021. And we're seeing long-term rentals again this year. So it's just touched everything. Yeah. Even those who came down to spend the summer really liked it. So they may be buying for the future, and you'll see a lot of increase in development around the area. Just tremendously popular, tremendously. So we've been very lucky compared to other tourism destinations. We've been lucky in that respect.
Now, you've mentioned virtual offerings. We were just at the Rehoboth Beach Museum, and they, couldn't have folks come visit them the way they are accustomed, so they had to do a lot of virtual programming and things like that. So your tourist attractions had, I think, a really difficult time.
Very difficult. If you take something like Funland with the occupancy limits and how many people could be in Funland, and that they literally had to sell tickets, so many tickets to allow so many people in for a certain amount of time. Everybody had to adapt. It just didn't matter what industry you were in, they were adapting. The ones that did really, really well, even in 2020, if you were selling a boat, if you were selling an RV, if you were selling something for outdoor, an outside pool for your house, those types of things, they did tremendous because people were at home. If I can't go out, I'm going to make it comfortable in my home. So it's everybody adapted in every way I can think of. It's just an amazing time.
So we talked about 2020, we talked about 2021, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what's going to be happening this summer. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kathy Gillis. I am the Senior Furniture Conservator at Winterthur Museum, and I love the antique furniture on the 302.
Welcome back. We talked about 2020, 2021, and now that we're all getting out and about, I'm here with Carol Everhart at the Rehoboth Beach and Dewey Beach Chamber of Commerce to talk about what's going to be happening for 2022. We learned a lot through the pandemic, so now what can we expect when we come to visit?
Well, you can expect there are no mandates in place. You can expect that the beach is open and ready for your enjoyment. The outside dining is going to continue. So both the town of Dewey Beach and in city of Rehoboth are allowing that outside dining to continue. It's very popular. And even the liquor sales outside. So all of that is in the plans for this year. The events are back all the way. There's an event almost every weekend coming up. It doesn't matter if it's January, and it doesn't matter if it's July. There's events the entire year, almost every weekend. So we're looking forward to high visitation. We're seeing, pre-rentals way up, bookings way up, even in our accommodations. So we're looking forward to just a great 2022.
Now, I know last year everybody was just busting at the seams because we had been staying home, staying safe, doing what we can. Mm-hmm. But now everyone's so stir crazy. How are you going to accommodate just the huge boom in tourism that I think you're anticipating?
We are anticipating that. I think, all of the municipalities types of thing, of course, beefing up any type of safety measures they have to take. Mm-hmm. Accommodation-wise, our recommendation is book early. Get that booking in because we're extremely popular. And we're not seeing any decrease in visitation this year. It looks very strong. We call weekly to find out, how did your bookings go last week? What's it look like for this week? And how did the pre-bookings look? And they're very, very strong. The amusements will be back full swing. Whether it's Funland or Jungle Gyms or any of the fun type things for the families, they're just expecting a wonderful year.
So for somebody who, lives in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, and maybe they've never come down to this area, they want to bring their family, what kinds of things, just on a regular, no festival weekend, what kind of things can they enjoy here?
Well, it depends on what they're looking for, but if they're looking for the beach, that's one thing, of course. If they're looking for the parks, we have many parks, bike trails, those types of things. If they're looking for a water park, we've got that. If they're looking for funland and amusement, they've got that. A lot of them like the mini golf courses, those types of things. So there's a little bit of fun activity going on all the time. It doesn't always have to be on the beach, but of course, the beach is the draw. That's why they come.
Some would say the shopping is the draw.
Oh, tax-free. So if you have tax-free shopping, that just makes it even better. So we're just anticipating, to see something really great this year. We're lucky. Not all tourism spots are as popular or have fared as well as we have, and we're just looking forward to welcoming everybody.
Sure, sure. Now, I know that there are a number of downtown shops that have various offerings, but you also have an outlet mall, is that right?
We have Tanger Outlets. So if you're into the outlet shopping, you certainly have that. They have 3 sites on Route 1. Everything is within 10 miles, so 10 minutes, 10 miles, we say. The outlets are just a mile out of town. So within that area, whether you're looking for something in Dewey where you would use the boats and the little boat tours and that type of thing, or you're looking for shopping, you're looking for the outlet shopping, or you're looking for the specialty shops, which are downtown, the little cottage shops, those types of things. And we're known as the Culinary Coast. This is the culinary capital on the Culinary Coast. So if you want to eat good food, this is your spot.
So what kind of food could we come down and sample?
Well, I would say that seafood is number 1, but we also have wonderful steakhouses. So whether you're looking for, I've seen now we have the new Taco Rios, and we have the new Mexican restaurants coming. Can't think of the name. But I think no matter what your palate is seeking, it's here. We have wonderful bakeries, we have wonderful ice cream shops. You have outdoor dining, indoor dining. I don't know what we don't have. That would be really hard to answer, what we don't have. We really...
You have it all?
We do. We do.
So you just have to make sure that you bring your sunscreen and your wallet and maybe a bigger pair of pants. Or this is you buy a bigger pair of pants.
Yeah, buy a bigger pair of pants while you're here. That would be a good way to do it.
Well, there's a lot of festivals, and when we return, we're going to talk about all the festivals that you can come down with your family and check out this summer. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nick Sartor, the Exhibitions Director for the Rehoboth Art League, and I enjoy the creativity on 302.
Welcome back. We were just talking about all of the fun things to do down here, and the restaurant is named
Agave.
Agave, Mexican food. So when you come down here, you can check that out. Now, Carol, you gave me a whole list. Now, these are not all of them, but these are just some of the many, many things that you can do when you come down here. And one of the things that I think is really interesting, you talked about the bull, the running of the bull. What is that?
The running of the bull is just a fun event that's done in Dewey Beach. And there's a guy in a bull costume, and there's a matador. And they just have fun with that, and then they have a little race down the beach, and then they have a smaller one for just the kids. So it's very popular. It's just a fun, family, crazy event.
And there's a lot of fun family-centered events that you have on a routine basis. Like you have the Monday night movies. That sounds kind of cool.
Right. In the summertime, the Chamber runs both movies on the beach in Dewey and bonfires. So it's Monday night movies Wednesday night bonfires. At Easter we put an egg hunt over in Dewey on the kids can hunt for eggs on the beach.
Oh, nice.
So it's just a way of giving them something extra to do. There's 52 weekends in the year, and we say we have 52 events.
So if somebody says, okay, I'm going to be down here on June 25th, that's the running of the bull. July 3rd, of course, the July 4th
And
events.
you have the fireworks and all those. Sometimes they're in the town, surrounding area. Definitely in Rehoboth Beach. Definitely have fireworks.
What is the annual Cottage Tour?
Cottage Tour is by the Art League, and they have a number of residences that allow people to come into their homes and walk through and see what these cottages are all about. And it's just lovely. A lot of these small towns do that. Rehoboth is definitely known for that.
I would imagine you have houses, cottages that have been on the tour year after year.
Yes.
They're just so amazing.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And Restaurant Week is new this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first
It's the
week of
Culinary
June.
Coast, you know.
I know it is. I know it is.
So tell me about Restaurant Week.
Well, Restaurant Week will be where it support the red, white, and blue. So this is going to be done to assist our military as well as our first responders. So when you buy your meal, there will be a special discount for certain meals depending on the restaurant, and a certain portion of that will go to those groups to help support them. It's just a way of saying thank you for all they do all year long.
Absolutely.
And gives an extra little benefit to some good food.
Sure, sure. I mean, and it just shows how much you guys care, not just about, having people come down and buy, things, but that you actually care about your community through, driven events.
It's a very, very giving community. And you'll notice, too, it's associated with Fort Miles. They're going to start their event, which is a D-Day event. So, Restaurant Week, support the red, white, and blue, whether that's military or our first responders, firemen, policemen, those types.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the ZAP Pro-Am World Championships of Skimboarding. What is skimboarding, first of all?
Skimboarding is this board that you put on the sand, you see the wave coming in, and you jump on it and you skim along that water that's coming in.
Really?
I cannot do it.
Have you tried, though?
I tried years ago. I was no good at it. But it's very, very popular. And
this is the World Championship.
it is. It is. They hold it in Dewey Beach, and one of the businesses there makes sure that happens every year. I think the only year it didn't happen was 2020. I believe it did not happen in 2020, but other than that, it's been going on for years. They do a great job.
I can imagine it's probably a very exciting event with all the fans on the beach watching this happen. I can't even imagine how it would work, but I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
So tell me a little bit about the Polka Motion by the Ocean. That seems like something that a lot of the Pennsylvania Dutch folks might enjoy.
There you go. So this is a group of folks who polka, and they call it Polka Motion, and they come in and they rent the facilities, and they have Polka Motion by the Ocean. So we have music and dancing, and it's just another activity that even if you're not doing it, you get to look at it and see how that goes, and it's just fun.
Isn't that the best part, the people watching?
Yes.
I mean, because you can see all kinds of folks out here doing all kinds of things, having a good time here.
You've got it. You have got it. They enjoy all of these things. It's a lot of variety in that. It's not just one big event. It's a lot of different events, all from the running of the bulls to polka motion to skimboarding.
It's a very wide variety of things that
It is.
You wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to go and do that. It wouldn't occur to you to do it, but when you come and you see it, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It adds to the fun.
Yeah.
It already adds to the time you're spending here, to your vacation. It just adds to the fun. It's just something more fun to do.
Well, I'm going to have to take this home with me. Even though
Please.
this is not all of them, but I can stick it on my refrigerator.
You can.
And I can be like, I got to get away this weekend. Oh, look what's happening. It's
You
the
can.
Independent Fall Film Festival. Boom.
You can. And
There you go.
And they're always on our website. So if you go to beach-fun.com, beach-fun.com, you'll see all of those events. There's many, many more than's on that poster.
Fantastic. Carol, thank you so much for spending time with us.
You're
It
welcome.
was good to see you in person.
Good to see you.
All right, we'll be right back. For more information, you can visit beach-fun.com. That'll do it for this week's episode of the 302. We're going to leave you now with some beauty shots on the beach. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on the 302.